than to come during the Olympics.
Ladies, I'm so glad that you two are having a great time. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you back here stateside. Anna and Denise, thank you for joining me on Morning in America. Enjoy your European vacation, ladies.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. It's 5:59. We're almost at the top of the hour, but don't you go anywhere. More news for America right now. Bombshell testimony in President Trump's hush money trial. His former lawyer, Michael Cohen, tying him to a payment for adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay the cash.
No. I got no.
Mr. Trump's political supporters calling out Cohen, who served time for federal campaign finance crimes.
He's a convicted felon.
We're live with what's expected when the defense gets to question Cohen. Plus, a new 911 call shedding light on the alleged threats the wife of a pastor faced leading up to her untimely death.
He has 6 guns that he just purchased recently, and he's saying, I'm armed and ready, I'm coming to get her.
And now, another new twist about Micah Miller's death. The conflicting story from police and her family about the involvement of federal investigators. Also, outrage over an attempted kidnapping at a school. It was caught on camera, and it took the principal more than an hour to call police. What the parents are demanding today to protect their children. And Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut is tonight in front of a sold-out crowd.
I'm very excited. I think first time you put on your WNBA uniform like that's special.
Will she live up to the hype? How is she preparing with her new team? Morning in America tips off now. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. From our News Nation headquarters in America's heartland, it's time for News for All America. I'm Nick Smith. We're taking a live look in New York City right now, where Michael Cohen will be leaving for President Trump's hush money trial soon. Today will be the second day of testimony from the star witness. We're expecting Mr. Trump's former attorney and fixer to be in the hot seat today, cross-examined by the defense team. This follows his testimony Monday, placing President Trump in the center of a scheme to keep stories hidden that were threatening to his 2016 campaign. News Nation's Caitlin Becker is outside the courthouse this morning. And Caitlin, we're expecting another day of fireworks. What were the big takeaways from Michael Cohen's first day on the stand?
Well, Nick, Cohen testified for many, many hours yesterday. He was calm, he was collected, he was measured. He was not the Michael Cohen that we are all familiar with, nor was he the Michael Cohen that has been really painted for the jury through previous testimony. He was very in control of his answers, and prosecutors really got to the heart of their case in their questioning of him on direct examination. They had him speak from his firsthand account of what it was like to work with Donald Trump on these catch-and-kill deals and what he understood the payment to Stormy Daniels was for and the payments from the Trump organization to him to be for. I want to read you a couple lines that he said on the stand. The first was Donald Trump's reaction to the Stormy Daniels stories finally getting out. He said, everything required Mr. Trump's sign-off. And that is important because Donald Trump was saying that he's just signing checks. He thought they were legal fees, and that's it. This is Michael Cohen saying, no, every single thing required Donald Trump's sign-off, and called him a micromanager. The other key point, like I said, was that reaction to the Stormy Daniels story. He testified that Donald Trump told him, quote, of the Daniels story getting out there, he said to me, women will hate me. Guys will think it's cool, but women will hate me. This is going to be a disaster for the campaign. And that last line there, a disaster for the campaign, is critical for prosecutors because it's not enough to hear that Donald Trump was integral and was aware of these hush money payments. What they have to do is make sure they connect it for the jury to campaign finance regulations and to to influencing the electorate. And I think they did that a little bit with this one recording that Michael Cohen had taken of he and Donald Trump talking about paying off Karen McDougal $150,000. Take a listen.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with
So what are we going to pay?
Funding. Yes. And it's all the stuff. All the stuff, because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be.
Gets it by
correct. So I'm all over that. And I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be.
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
Don't pay the cash.
No. I got no.
So, Nick, you hear it right there, and so did jurors, that Donald Trump and Michael Cohen talked about hush money payments to Karen McDougal. But really, this all got summed up in this one particular line by Michael Cohen when he said the payments were not for a retainer fee. That is what Donald Trump's defense team has maintained. He said the payments to him were to reimburse him for hush money for Stormy Daniels. Now, if they can connect it to the electorate, that's the case.
Caitlin, quickly, you talked about Michael Cohen being controlled first day on the stand. Are you expecting the same thing when he's actually cross-examined by the defense?
Most certainly not. Direct examination will continue as soon as we hit back at court this morning. But once the defense team gets up there, they are going to attack his credibility, specifically when it comes to lying. He's a known liar, and that is what they're going to repeatedly hit for the jury. And I think it's going to rattle Michael Cohen.
Caitlin Becker with the front seat to all the fireworks. Caitlin, thank you so much. Let's bring in News Nation legal contributor Jesse Weber. He's also anchor and host for the Law and Crime Network. Jesse, good morning. Michael Cohen's testimony comes after many of the prosecution's own witnesses slammed him. How do you see this claim actually landing the case with Michael Cohen as a witness?
Well, look, there's a reason he was called as one of the last witnesses, because you had all these other witnesses to try to build up his credibility. And clearly that's going to be a major issue. If you have one word for today, if cross-examination, it's going to be credibility. But Caitlin laid it out perfectly. I mean, if you want to talk about why he is essentially the star witness for the prosecution, it was tying Donald Trump not just to the hush money payments, but to the repayment plan. And the more that he knew what was going on, this meeting that was between Michael Cohen and Donald Trump and Alan Weisselberg, where it was very clear that Michael Cohen was going to be paid back, not in legal fees, that it was an understanding he wasn't his lawyer, but it was a reimbursement plan. And to not pay him just $130,000, but $420,000 to disguise the payments, that's key. But as Caitlin said, and this is the most important point, Nick, the jury has to be convinced that he falsified these business records with the criminal intent to undermine the election. And that is a violation of New York state law. Did Michael Cohen deliver it on a silver platter for the jury? Maybe, maybe not. There's going to be a little bit more to explore. But I mean, I can't wait to see what happens with the cross-examination, because arguably he's a very bad witness. He's a problematic witness. The prosecution knows this, but it all becomes down to whether or not the jury believes his account from yesterday. We know Alan Weisselberg's not going to testify, so a lot of this stands with Michael Cohen.
Jesse, when you talk about intent from the former president, that requires someone to actually be in his head to know what he was thinking. The defense has already been going after Cohen's credibility, particularly since he's been convicted of perjury. What do you expect cross-examining to actually look like when we know that he would have to say he knew exactly what the former president was thinking?
So their whole theme is going to be, you can't trust Michael Cohen because he's built a whole brand on going after Donald Trump. Let's look at what he said in media interviews. Let's look at what he said on podcasts. Have we seen what he's been doing on TikTok the last few weeks? And so the more that the jury believes he will say or do anything to go after Donald Trump and make sure he's convicted, that's how you get at his credibility. And by the way, Nick, he opened himself up a little bit to cross-examination yesterday when he talked about how he was almost essentially a disgruntled employee. He wasn't happy that he didn't have a position in the White House. At one point, he wasn't happy that he wasn't getting paid back the money that he wanted to get paid back. I'm sure that's something that's going to be explored by the defense. And they're also going to say, you know, this meeting, you really believe that Donald Trump was going to pay you $420,000? Didn't you say, you know, he was really tight with his money? He was very careful. Does this seem a little bit too hard to believe? So he's going to face some tough questions. And we all know that cross-examination for a witness is much tougher than direct examination.
Jesse, I've got less than 30 seconds, but some of former President Trump's potential VP candidates are now showing up at his trial. Vivek Ramaswamy is expected to be there today. Do you see that potentially impacting this jury amid questions over how politics may affect their verdict?
It shouldn't. And you also have to wonder if the jury knows who a lot of these people are or why they are there. They shouldn't be looking at the media. They shouldn't be hearing these comments from outside the courthouse. Look, in any trial, there are going to be people in the gallery. There are going to be supporters. There are going to be people who are siding with one side or another. It really shouldn't affect their decision, but who knows what gets into a juror's mind.
Jesse Weber, thanks again for joining us this morning.
Yep, good seeing you. Thank you.
And while you were sleeping, Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Kyiv, the first time a Biden administration official has traveled to Ukraine since Congress passed additional military aid in February. Secretary Blinken met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky this morning and will give a speech later today highlighting America's continued support for Ukraine. This trip comes as Russia continues to make major advances into northeastern Ukraine, the most significant gains Moscow has made since their late summer of 2022. And Russian President Vladimir Putin is set to make a two-day state visit to China this week. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says Mr. Putin will meet with Chinese President Xi for bilateral discussions, but did not get into specifics about what those talks would be about. The trip will be Putin's first foreign visit since being sworn in last week for his fifth term. And new developments surrounding the death of Micah Miller, the wife of a prominent South Carolina pastor who police say died by suicide last month. The local sheriff's department, now assigned to the case, says federal agents are assisting in the investigation, but that directly contradicts what Micah's own family told News Nation. News Nation's Emily Finn has been following the story from the very beginning. And Emily, this is just the latest twist in a very disturbing story.
Certainly disturbing, Nick. The Robeson County Sheriff's Department says it has been in contact with both the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI since the early stages of the investigation. And the sheriff says the department has asked for help from both agencies. But News Nation reached out to Micah's family for comment. They told us the FBI informed them that the Bureau was not involved in the investigation. Police have already ruled that the wife of the South Carolina pastor died by suicide with a gun that she had bought for herself just hours before her death. But since then, details of her relationship with her estranged husband, John Paul Miller, have been coming to light. Micah's family says the relationship was, quote, toxic, and John Paul was stalking and harassing her in the weeks leading up to her death. John Paul denies that and continues to say, at least in public, that Micah was the love of his life. During his eulogy, John Paul said he visited Micah's body 4 times in the morgue and even tried to raise her from the dead. News Nation investigative correspondent Rich McHugh got a copy of a 911 call from Micah's sister after she says she received a threatening text from John Paul last November while Micah was staying with her sister. Take a listen.
My sister came here today to visit because her and her husband were having issues. She came from Myrtle. She told him she'll be home on Tuesday. And he was texting me at this point saying, I'll be at your house at 12:55. I'm armed and ready, and I will keep you up all night. I'm going to get her back.
Last week, John Paul's attorney released a statement denying any involvement in Micah's death, directly or indirectly, as well as claims the pastor groomed his wife from the age of 10, pointing to Micah's struggle with mental illness. John Paul is on a hiatus from his church since it's began receiving harassing messages about Micah's death. And Nick, this is certainly a case that we're going to be closely following.
Absolutely. Emily Finn live for us this morning. Emily, thank you so much. Well, it's 12 minutes after the hour, and here are a few more of the morning headlines this Tuesday, May 14th. The Biden administration is announcing new tariffs today for an additional $18 billion worth of Chinese imports. This includes quadrupling tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles and tripling those on steel and aluminum. The White House says this is to ensure American companies aren't undercut by underpriced products from China. The administration adds that these tariffs won't contribute to inflation because they don't target products across the board. And Arizona Supreme Court is giving the Attorney General an extra 90 days before she has to enforce the state's near total abortion ban. Lawmakers voted to repeal the 1864 law last month, but it would have remained in effect for 90 days after their legislature adjourns. Now, the earliest that law can be enforced is September, while the Attorney General decides what she can do to prevent it from ever taking effect. Right now, abortions up to 15 weeks can be performed in Arizona. Abortion access expected to be a major issue in the 2024 election.
It's coming right for us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, oh my gosh is right. You're looking at real video there of that tornado making its way across the greens. A tornado touched down near Branson, Missouri. It was brief, but on the ground long enough to damage trees and flip over golf carts. Eyewitnesses saying there wasn't a tornado warning or a siren to signal the threat. A migrant man under arrest accused of beating a pregnant teenager. And police say he's just one of many migrants committing serious crimes. News Nation investigates why some violent offenders aren't being deported even after orders are issued. And quick-thinking kids narrowly avoid a kidnapping attempt on school grounds. Take a look at that video, that highlighted portion right there. Yeah, but this is the reason it's a problem. It's the delayed response by school leaders that has parents demanding answers this morning.
RFK Jr., Cuomo, live tonight on Cuomo.
Need to get your windshield fixed? SafeLight makes it easy. You can schedule in just a few clicks, and we'll come to you with the replacement you can trust.
Schedule free mobile service now at safelight.com.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
You've had thyroid eye disease for a long time, and you've lived with the damage it caused. But even after all these years, restoration is still possible. Learn how at TEDhelp.com.
Right now, pet dander, skin cells, mold spores, pollen, and dirt are being sucked into your air ducts. Get cleaner air and system efficiency now with Stanley Steamer. Your air ducts aren't clean until they're Stanley Steamer clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
You founded your kayak company because you love the ocean, not spreadsheets. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Listen up, America. Meat has problems, and it's going to take us, meat eaters, to solve them. So when the world says too much meat is bad and we should eat less of it, we say no, world. We should eat more. Because now we can turn plants into burgers and hot dogs. Even meatballs. Now, plants can be meat. Come on, people. Let's punch cholesterol in the face. We're solving the meat problem with more meat. Impossible! Meat from plants!
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, with my psoriatic arthritis symptoms.
But just okay isn't okay.
And I was done settling.
If you still have symptoms after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in RA and PSA, relieve fatigue for some, and stop joint damage. And in PSA, can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occurred. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Done settling?
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq.
And take back what's yours.
AbbVie could help you save.
Do you want to close out?
Should I? Normally I'd hold, but taking the gains is smart here, right?
Feel more confident with stock ratings from JP Morgan analysts in the Chase app. When you've got a decision to make, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
The left-leaning media totally outraged by so many of the former president's recent words and actions, while the right-leaning media downplaying it all. Just nothing to see. Those of us not in the partisan media business, I think, need to be trying to call balls and strikes. Here's the reality that no other cable news network can say. You can count on us to try to call out what's important and what's not.
Another reason why News Nation is news for all America.
Okay, this is a story I brought to you right before the break. A Colorado elementary school principal is out of a job after waiting an hour to call police following this attempted kidnapping. The fifth graders running away, yelling stranger danger. Later, third graders were let outside for recess, and the school was not put under heightened security. On Monday, the superintendent told the angry and scared parents that the district is working to ensure safer and a safe setting for the end of the year for their students. Now, police arrested a man they say is a registered sex offender for lunging at that child. And this morning, police in Portland, Oregon may be closer to catching a possible serial killer. Last year, several women, all under the age of 35, were found dead within a span of 3 months, and at least 4 of them are linked. Another woman, 32 years old, Joanna Speaks, was found dead in a rural area outside Portland, and a year later, all these deaths remain unsolved. A person of interest is currently in jail on a parole violation, but could be a free man by this time next month. Senior national correspondent Brian Inton spoke with some of the families of the victims as they search for justice.
Nick, these families have been waiting for justice, and you can imagine just how terrifying it's been for them and really for the entire community, knowing that these 4 women were found dead and that there has still not been any charges or an arrest. But we have learned that there could soon be significant developments in the case.
We're very thankful to have each other and fight together. We call each other the fighting families.
These families share a bond that they never hoped to have. Their loved ones all mysteriously murdered in and around Portland, Oregon. The cases unsolved. When you got together, how quickly did you realize, wait a minute, there could be a connection?
Putting our girls, as we call, they're our girls. They're all our girls. Putting their faces together, saying, hey, something is up. And either we have a serial killer or we have 5 homicidal maniacs. I don't know which one would be worse.
5 Oregon women dead, all within a 3-month period, including Kristen Smith, found in a field February 19, 2023. Joanna Speaks, discovered April 8th. Charity Perry, found dead near a state park on April 24th. Bridget Webster's body discovered April 30th. And Ashley Rial, found May 7th in a rural area. Police in Portland initially said the deaths were not connected, trying to calm fears about a serial killer, but then that theory changed. This man, Jesse Calhoun, was named a person of interest. The convicted felon was initially behind bars for burglary, car theft, and assaulting an officer. In 2020, Calhoun and other prisoners battled the Oregon wildfires. And in a controversial move, former Governor Kate Brown commuted their sentences for their help firefighting and because of COVID. Calhoun was freed, and after he was out, the murders happened. Police haven't said why they consider Calhoun a person of interest in at least 4 of the killings. He's still not been charged, but local reports indicate movement on the case behind the scenes. There's obviously a lot that you all can't say. But are we at a moment where people can look at this case and feel like justice is coming?
I think we all feel we're there. We're at the end of this finish line. It's going to happen.
Once it came out that Calhoun was a person of interest in the case, his commuted sentence was reversed and he was put back behind bars. But the clock is really ticking because he is slated to get out of state prison in just about a month. Nick?
News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Inton. Brian, thank you. Is President Trump really the candidate being impacted the most by his hush money trial? As Michael Cohen gets ready to take the stand for a second day, Bill O'Reilly, host of No Spin News, joins us with how the media is impacting the trial and the 2024 election.
Can Nariva support your brain health?
Mary, Janet, hey.
Eddie, no, Fraser, Frank. Frank? Fred, how are you? Fred.
Fuel up to 7 brain health indicators, including your memory. Join the Nariva Brain Health Challenge.
If you have Graves' disease and blurry vision, you need clear answers. People with Graves could also get thyroid eye disease, or TED, which may need a different doctor. Find a TED eye specialist at isitted.com.
This bathroom's so musty.
Damprid's new fast-acting drop-in tab attracts and traps excess moisture, eliminating musty odors.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein. 30 grams protein, 1 gram sugar, 25 vitamins and minerals, and a new fiber blend with a prebiotic.
I know this might seem out of the blue, but I was wondering if you might pray with me real quick. Lord, you know what's on our hearts. You know where we struggle. You know where we need to be pushed. Help us give it all to you, the good, the bad. Help us turn to you in everything we do. Amen. I invite you to join me in more prayer on Hallow. Stay prayed up.
As you get older, your liver health becomes an increasingly important part of the aging process. We created Dose for your liver to make taking care of your liver easy. Dose is an organic blend of liver-supporting ingredients and is clinically backed to promote healthy liver function so that nothing's holding you back.
Do you want to close out?
Should I? Normally I'd hold, but taking the gains is smart here, right?
Feel more confident with stock ratings from JP Morgan analysts in the Chase app. When you've got a decision to make, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
It happens. You rip, tear, and never have time to repair. Wait. Before you throw it away, let Mighty Mend It save the day. Hi, Billy Mays here for Mighty Mend It, the fast, easy way to mend, hem, and wear it again, saving you money. Mighty Mend It is not a glue, but a flexible bonding agent that grabs, adheres, and interlocks the fibers of virtually any fabric for a permanent repair. Sewing takes forever, but with Mighty Mend It, just apply, gently touch, and mend it. It has the strength to withstand storm force winds. Amazing! You'll find hundreds of money-saving uses.
Call or go online to get the complete Mighty Mend It kit. But for everyone who orders today, we'll triple the bottles, plus give you a travel size and the money-saving idea guide, absolutely free. But we're not done. We'll also include a bottle of Gem It. Now you can add bling to just about anything. Yours free. Order now.
Yeah, those were some scary moments indeed. Tensions flaring along the U.S.-Mexico border Monday, with members of the Texas National Guard firing pepper spray capsules into a crowd of migrants trying to cut through a barbed wire fence. The migrants later said there were fewer than 150 people in their group, and they asked to speak with President Biden to let them enter the country. Authorities in Florida sounding the alarm this morning, reporting a rise in serious crimes being committed by migrants in the U.S. illegally. These three suspects arrested for separate violent crimes in just the past month. News Nation's Jorge Ventura joins us live. Jorge, some say this is highlighting problems with current border policies.
That's right, Nick. And especially highlighting just the poor vetting process of immigrants before being released into the U.S. Also, the massive backlog of immigration cases. And as you mentioned before, Nick, authorities in Palm Beach, Florida, reporting at least 3 serious crimes committed by illegal immigrants in 1 month, including this man. This is Herbert Armando Guerrero from Honduras. He was arrested and charged Friday for reporting sexually abusing a minor, along with a slew of other violent charges. Authorities revealing that Guerrero was ordered out of the U.S. in 2017, but was never deported. Palm Beach County Sheriff's also arresting this mom, Josefina Cardona, earlier this month for allegedly trying to hire a hitman to murder 2 witnesses in her son's criminal case. Authorities say that she is in the country illegally and may be deported after her case is over. Authorities also arresting this man in Palm Beach County. This is Marvin Perez Lopez from Guatemala, arrested less than 6 months after crossing into the U.S. illegally. Officials say that Lopez came in January, was released by federal officials with a future court date in 2027, and made his all the way to Florida. Local officials saying that he was arrested on May 4th for allegedly kidnapping a child and sexual assault. Florida-based immigration lawyer Rolando Vasquez says that the state is receiving thousands of illegal immigrants who aren't being properly vetted before being released into the U.S., but also don't have court dates for years to come, just like Lopez.
And now the courts are congested until 2027, 2028, some even further. And that's a major problem that we're seeing, is that our system itself is collapsing. It's just too many cases. I don't think any country is equipped to take this many immigrants in such a short period of time.
Now, News Nation has reached out to ICE to ask why Herbert Guerrero wasn't deported. Despite receiving deportation orders 7 years ago, we have yet to hear back from ICE at the time of this report, Nick.
Jorge, that is definitely a problem anytime you have that many cases backlogged. Jorge Ventura live for us this morning. Jorge, thank you. A city in Kansas voting to remove thin blue line flags from their Flags for Freedom event. The controversy and debate over the flags, which some say are a memorial to loved ones who sacrificed their lives in the line of duty, while others say they divide the community.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
Do you want to close out?
Should I? Normally I'd hold, but taking the gains is smart here, right?
Feel more confident with stock ratings from JP Morgan analysts in the Chase app. When you've got a decision to make, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
After years of taking hits as an NFL running back, I know a thing or two about aches and discomfort. Magna Life Arnica Pain Relief Gel is packed with natural ingredients that target the root cause of discomfort instead of covering it up.
We're putting our foot down to keep our feet up, like way up, with Lazy Boy.
We worked overtime. Now it's TV time.
It's the Lazy Boy Memorial Day sale. Amazing savings store-wide. Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
Right now, pet dander, skin cells, and dirt are settling deep into your carpet fibers. Stanley Steamer removes the dirt you see and the dirt you don't. Your carpets aren't clean until they're Stanley Steamer clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
It's never a good time for migraine, especially when I'm on camera. That's why my go-to is Nurtec ODT. For the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura and the preventive treatment of episodic migraine in adults. It's the only migraine medication that helps treat and prevent all in one.
Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using. Most common side effects were nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain.
People depend on me. Without a migraine, I can be there for them. Talk to your doctor about Nurtec ODT today.
After last month's massive solar flare added a 25th hour to the day, businesses are wondering, what should we do?
I'm thinking company-wide power nap.
Anything can change the world of work. From HR to payroll, ADP designs for the next anything.
Sometimes investing can feel like you're going at it alone, especially when it comes to adding crypto to your portfolio. But it doesn't have to be that way. As the world's largest crypto asset manager, you'll find a lot of people holding Grayscale funds, which means you're investing in good company. Grayscale, crypto investing begins here.
Depression is a journey. I'd made some progress on my antidepressant, had some daily wins in reducing my symptoms, but I was still masking my depression. So I talked to my doctor. She told me I could build on my wins without changing my antidepressant.
Rexulti, when added to an antidepressant, significantly reduced depression symptoms more than an antidepressant alone.
And less depression, that's a win.
Rexulti can cause serious side effects. Elderly dementia patients have an increased risk of death or stroke. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts and actions and worsen depression in children and young adults. Report new or sudden changes in mood, behavior, thoughts, or feelings, or if you develop suicidal thoughts or actions. Report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death. Weight gain, increased cholesterol, low white blood cells. Unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, or sleepiness may occur. Keep moving forward. Ask your doctor about Rexulti.
It's 32 minutes after the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. A Kansas City Council is deciding to no longer allow thin blue line flags during their Flags for Freedom ceremony. The thin blue line flags became a dividing factor in the community since the week-long display centers on Independence Day. The council's 6-2 vote now only allowing American flags to fly. And as Dave DeMarco from our Kansas City affiliate explains, the move is causing a stir.
An event started a few years after September 11th here in Merriam, Kansas was originally called Healing Fields. And original organizers say that the last thing it ever was meant to do is divide the way it is now.
Deputy Sheriff Patrick Rohr, end of watch, June 15th, 2018. Caused gunfire. Deputy Teresa King, end of watch, June 16th, 2018, caused gunfire.
8 fallen Wyandotte and Johnson County deputies and police officers since 2016. For the past 6 years, they've been honored at Merriam's 4th of July event, Flags for Freedom.
It has been 5 years, 333 days, and 3,110,400 minutes since my father's untimely murder.
Tonight, the Rohrer family and others speaking out against a plan to remove those thin blue line flags and only fly the 1,200 or so American flags that started the event back in 2006. This is the first year the event will be run by the city and not just volunteers.
This is what I would not do as the city administrator. I would not come to you and say, this should only be about police officers. I would not come to you and say this should only be about police officers in some sort of hazy, ill-defined geographic region.
After Councilman Jason Silvers questioned whether the flags were appropriate for a city-sponsored event, in a memo describing the issue tonight, Administrator Chris Engel said while the men and women paid the ultimate sacrifice, for others, those flags represent something less honorable.
And when I read the words "less than honorable" in the City of Merriam agenda regarding the flags that fly for the officers who died protecting our cities, I was not only heartbroken, but I was disgusted.
Former Wyandotte County Sheriff Don Ash says he believes some incorrectly view the flag as racist.
Follow the truth and you know, do the morally correct thing and keep this celebration that so many people have come to love and appreciate and participate in, keep it active here.
While the city administrator says it's just an administrative issue, for Emma Rohrer, it's personal.
Here's where I leave you with a simple question. Why should the flag, which is a small and simple gesture of the remembrance of my dead father, be taken away? Why should one of the only signs of what my father gave be taken away?
The vote 6-2 to only have American flags flying at this event, though some council members said they'd entertain a motion to have a more at-length discussion about flag policies here in the future. For News Nation, I'm Dave DeMarco.
Let's bring in the mayor of Merriam, Kansas, Bob Pape. Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for joining us this morning. I heard a couple of things in this report that bother me personally. Help me make the connection on why this is an issue. When the council passed a motion to ban the thin blue line flags, what was the reaction from the audience? And were you surprised by the overwhelming support to keep the thin blue line flags in the event?
Well, I obviously think that our audience was very passionate, and it personally affected many of them, you know, concerning lost members of their family. And so I was not surprised at the reaction itself once the vote was taken. It was 6-2 to remove those. I was saddened by that vote. I personally would like to have kept the flags in the field. But as was talked about by the city administrator, I think some questions were raised in reference to, well, why not firefighters? Why aren't we honoring EMS and other first responders that maybe lost their lives in the line of duty? And those are good questions. And I think that that's what the council wanted to do, is to take a look at having a flag policy developed. And they directed staff to do so, to come back to them and present something of how they think we should go forward in reference to possibly honoring other individuals who have lost their lives in the line of duty.
And Mr. Mayor, I totally understand the passion around honoring others who have lost their lives in the line of duty, but I guess where I'm lost is why throw everything out until then? Is it not possible that they could have just added to? The men and women who are being recognized by Thin Blue Line were members of the community who indeed lost their lives in the line of duty. If there was a tie, would you have been the tie-breaking vote? I mean, you publicly stated you would have voted to keep the Thin Blue Line flags. Why?
Well, you know, I agree with you in the sense that we've acknowledged that and respected and tried to honor those individuals that have lost their lives for the last 6 years. To me, it was just a step too far to remove those flags from the field. That's why if it had gotten to 4-4, I would have voted to retain the flags. I'm a retired firefighter and fire chief, and I understand putting your life on the line personally, and I've lost fellow firefighters. So I guess I had a stronger tie maybe to this topic than many of our other council members, but I agree. I mean, I wish we could have actually kept it. I saw the disheartening and the sadness on the individuals in that audience, and to have over 40 people speak all in favor of keeping those flags. I felt that we let the community down, and I don't know that we actually reflected what their true beliefs are on those flags. As had been indicated earlier in your broadcast, that some people do believe that flag is divisive. I personally do not. You know, I think it stands for you know, supporting our police officers and you know, honoring and acknowledging those that made the ultimate sacrifice by giving their life in the line of duty.
And Mayor Pape, I can tell you that as a man of color myself, I'm struggling to find how recognizing the men and women who have lost their lives in the line of duty is somehow divisive and racist. So you and I both are struggling to understand that one. Mayor Pape, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for reaching out, and we hope to have an update on this someday.
And we hope that you are able to include all who have served your community. We're just hours away from the star witness in the hush money case against President Trump taking the stand for a second day. What you can expect from what's sure to be a fiery day of testimony as Mr. Trump's attorneys gear up to cross-examine Michael Cohen.
Right now, pet dander, skin cells, mold spores, pollen, and dirt are being sucked into your air ducts. Get cleaner air and system efficiency now with Stanley Steamer. Your air ducts aren't clean until they're Stanley Steamer clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
GA, the advanced form of dry age-related macular degeneration, can irreversibly damage your vision. It can progress faster than you think. When GA threatens your eyes, take a stand. Slow GA with Syfovre. Syfovre is an eye injection that was proven to slow damaging lesion growth over 2 years with increasing effect over time. It's the only FDA-approved treatment to slow GA in as few as 6 doses per year.
Don't take Syfovre if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye that may include pain and redness. Syfovre can cause serious side effects such as eye infection and retinal detachments, severe inflammation of vessels in the retina which may result in severe vision loss, wet AMD, eye inflammation, and an increase in eye pressure. Most common side effects are eye discomfort, wet AMD, small specks floating in vision, and blood in the white of the eye. Tell your doctor right away if you have any side effects.
Every moment counts. Act now to slow GA with Syfovre. Ask your retina specialist about Syfovre.
We the lazy declare that we will recline when we feel inclined.
We've checked off our to-do list.
Now we're checking off our to-don't list.
We the lazy are taking back lazy.
On our Lazy Boy furniture.
Lazy Boy, long live the lazy.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein, 30 grams protein, 1 gram sugar, 25 vitamins and minerals, and a new fiber blend with a prebiotic.
Do you want to close out?
Should I? Normally I'd hold, but taking the gains is smart here, right?
Feel more confident with stock ratings from JP Morgan analysts in the Chase app. When you've got a decision to make, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
AG1 works by obsessing over potency, absorbency, and nutrient density to help your body get the most out of everything we put in. Get the foundational nutrition you need at drinkag1.com.
What's up?
Who are you?
I'm your inner child. Get in. Listen, what you really need in life is some freaking torque.
What?
Horsepower keeps you going, but torque gets you going.
What happened to my inner child craving love and acceptance?
How about you love and accept this? Power shot.
When can I drive?
You already are.
The Dodge Hornet RT, the totally torqued out crossover.
Take care of my finances? I got plenty of time for that.
I didn't have plenty of time.
Procrastinating on your finances has a way of stacking up. A membership with Facet is a quick and easy first step to get your finances in order.
I'll get to that tomorrow.
Now is the time to take action. Go to Facet.com to take our free financial wellness quiz today.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business in 1929, he relied on 4 important values: freshness, quality, variety, and service. I'm proud to carry on his legacy, but from a bigger space. We still freshly roast, season, and dip delicious nuts here in New Jersey and deliver them with the freshest dry fruits, snacks, and sweets to families that love our products all around the country, including mine.
We think you'll love Nuts.com too, so check us out and enjoy 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
Welch's fruit juice isn't just for kids anymore. The 155-year-old company teaming up with Oklahoma's Coop Beverage Works for a new line of canned cocktails set to drop just in time for summer. They come in 4 flavors: vodka transfusion, made with Welch's iconic grape juice, vodka cranberry passion fruit mojito, and watermelon mule. Each 12-ounce drink will contain just under 6% alcohol by volume and will be available in single flavor 4-packs. Walmart is reportedly planning to cut hundreds of corporate jobs. The Wall Street Journal reporting the retail giant is also asking most of its remote workers to return to the office. Walmart is expected to close several stores this year. Their earnings on Thursday will also shed new light on how inflation is impacting consumers. Ipe Muzahara, the ousted interpreter for baseball star Shohei Ohtani, set to be arraigned after agreeing to plead guilty to bank and tax fraud. That is all tied to that betting scandal. Both charges combined carry a maximum sentence of 33 years in prison. The new plea agreement says Muzahara will pay Ohtani's restitution after prosecutors say he stole nearly $17 million from the Japanese player to pay off his betting debts. And Judge Judy Scheinlein suing the parent company of the National Enquirer, In Touch Weekly, saying these tabloids falsely claiming she helped the Menendez brothers get a retrial after being convicted of murdering their parents. Court documents allege they used statements from a Fox Nation docuseries made by Judy Ramos, a woman identified as an alternate juror in the first Menendez trial, and misattributed them to her. Scheinlein has yet to ask for a specific amount of damages. This morning, former President Trump will return to a New York City courtroom for the hush money trial. But which candidate is the trial affecting the most? News Nation's Leland Vittert spoke with Bill O'Reilly, host of No Spin News, about the trial, the election, and the media's impact.
In terms of melting down, right, for the Joe Biden presidency, we understand how you feel about that. You've been around for a long time. You were not around the last time we had a president and a former president going up against each other. In modern times, it hasn't happened. Doesn't this really come down to who this is a referendum about, of two highly unpopular men? If it's a referendum about Donald Trump mean tweets and crazy things on the stump, okay, then Joe Biden's going to win. If it's a referendum on all the things about Joe Biden you've said, then Donald Trump's going to win. And I'm going to tee you up to go after your favorite group around, which is the media. They will make it to the best of their abilities, and we were already seeing this, a la CNN and Dana Bash over the weekend, a referendum on Donald Trump.
Sure, because that's how Biden won in 20. Biden stayed away and you said, you want him? Take him. You don't want him? Vote for me. Biden can't do that anymore, which is why the corporate media is melting down. They know this show trial in New York City is bad for Biden. They know that Biden's equivocation and not backing Israel is bad. They know the high prices in America, the open border, Biden's befuddlement on everything. The man does not work. If you look at his daily schedule, and I give it every day on the No Spin News, he doesn't work. You know what he did today? He had a reception for Native Hawaiians and South Pacific people. That's it. That's all he had on his official schedule. And that's what it is every day. So Americans understand this. So it isn't a referendum about Trump any longer. It's a comparison now between what Trump delivered and what Biden delivered.
You can watch On Balance tonight and every weeknight starting at 7, 6 Central right here on News Nation. All right, I'm not overstating this when I say it might be the most anticipated debut in WNBA history. Caitlin Clark tips off her professional basketball career tonight. She says she's excited, and so are the fans. We're live in Connecticut with a preview.
My mental health was better, but uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia, started disrupting my day.
TD felt embarrassing. I felt like disconnecting. I asked my doctor about treating my TD and learned about Ingrezza.
Ingrezza is clinically proven for reducing TD. Most people saw results in just 2 weeks. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. Only #1 prescribed Ingrezza has simple dosing for TD. Always 1 pill once daily. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects including angioedema, potential heart rhythm problems, and abnormal movements. Report fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening. Sleepiness is the most common side effect.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Need to get your windshield fixed? SafeLight makes it easy. You can schedule in just a few clicks, and we'll come to you with the replacement you can trust.
Schedule free mobile service now at safelight.com.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
Life, diabetes. There's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Glucerna to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with Carb Steady. Glucerna, bring on the day.
Do you want to close out?
Should I? Normally I'd hold, but taking the gains is smart here. Right?
Feel more confident with stock ratings from JP Morgan analysts in the Chase app. When you've got a decision to make, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
After years of taking hits as an NFL running back, I know a thing or two about aches and discomfort. Magna Life Arnica Pain Relief Gel is packed with natural ingredients that target the root cause of discomfort instead of covering it up.
Sometimes investing can feel like you're going at it alone, especially when it comes to adding crypto to your portfolio. But it doesn't have to be that way. As the world's largest crypto asset manager, you'll find a lot of people holding Grayscale funds, which means you're investing in good company. Grayscale, crypto investing begins here.
Did you know GoodRx can help you get a better price on your family's prescriptions?
I just open the app, type in the name of our meds, that's it. Savings on my asthma medication. All right, round 2, baby, round 2. Oh, yeah! Savings on my husband's blood pressure refills. And savings on my daughter's allergy pills.
Prescription savings for the whole family.
Have a good one.
Another good reason to check GoodRx.
Fashion moves fast. Setting trends is our business. We need to scale with customer demand in real time.
So we partner with Verizon. Their solution for us? A private 5G network.
We now get more control of production, efficiencies, and greater agility.
With a custom private 5G network, our customers get what they want when they want it.
Now we're even smarter and ready for what's next.
Achieve enterprise intelligence. It's your vision. It's your Verizon.
Welcome back. It's 51 minutes after the hour. Lisa Bluter is stepping down after 24 years of coaching the University of Iowa women's basketball team. Nobody won more women's basketball games in Big Ten history. Bluter will forever be known as the coach who led Caitlin Clark and Iowa to back-to-back national championships. Assistant coach Jan Jensen will take over the Hawkeyes in the fall. And tonight is the night basketball fans have had circled on their calendar for weeks. Why, Nick? Because Caitlin Clark makes her WNBA regular season debut as she and the Indiana Fever take on the Connecticut Sun. The game is a sellout, the first time Connecticut's sold out their home opener since their first season in 2003. Ken Pierce from our News Nation affiliate in Connecticut is here with us live. And Ken, the basketball world is preparing for one of the most anticipated WNBA games ever.
Absolutely, Nick. Yeah, maybe the first game of the season, but it's going to have a playoff-like atmosphere, we think, here at Mohegan Sun Arena tonight as the Connecticut Sun hosts the professional debut of the college game's top scorer ever, male or female, and that is, of course, Caitlin Clark. She was the #1 pick in the draft by the Indiana Fever. Attendance and TV viewership for her college games broke records and often topped the numbers for the men's game. She is the face of the current rise of women's basketball. Season ticket purchases all over the WNBA are way up this year, and tickets for any Indiana game, they are sold out or selling fast. Clark herself knows of all the places she's going to go this year, nobody knows and appreciates women's basketball more than Connecticut.
You know the fans are going to be awesome.
I'm expecting a great crowd, and that's how it's always been there. Whether it's been the college level, whether it's been the pro level, it's always been a great environment to play in. So I'm excited to experience it for the first time. It'll be cool and special for me to go around to all these WNBA arenas for the first time and experience each one.
Of course, Clark may be the latest big star elevating women's basketball, but here in Connecticut, we've got a long history of doing just that. 11 NCAA titles for the UConn women, with WNBA stars like Rebecca Lobo, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, and Brianna Stewart coming up through the system. So no surprise that the almost 9,000 seats in Mohegan Sun Arena all sold out for tonight's big game. Tip-off local time, Eastern time, 7:30.
Kent, the obvious question, tell me you got a ticket.
Back to you. No, but I tell you, we've got some people who are going to be here both inside monitoring the game and in the stands and out here. We expect a lot of crowds here from a lot of different places as well. So we're going to have everything covered for the locals and for News Nation as well.
Kim Pierce, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Joining us live now is WNBA and NCAA women's basketball reporter Christina Williams. She's also the founder of Girls Talk Sports TV. Christina, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Christina, it's hard to overstate how big of a deal this is for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's opponent tonight, the Sun, sold out their home opener for the first time since their very first game in Connecticut back in 2003. Have you ever seen such a highly anticipated rookie debut in any sport?
No, absolutely not. I think that the last time we've seen something like this may have been Candace Parker when she came out of Tennessee, but the anticipation for Caitlin Clark is high. As mentioned, arenas throughout the WNBA selling out when they play against the Indiana Fever. This matchup against the Connecticut Sun is going to be highly anticipated. You have the Indiana Fever going up against MVP runner-up Alyssa Thomas. Again, the Connecticut Sun went to the semifinals last season. This is a very experienced team that Indiana will go up against, but Caitlin Clark, you could expect her to just play her game. She's known for her playmaking, for making her teammates better, and for her scoring abilities. So I think that WNBA fans and basketball fans will be entertained tonight.
Christina, on the flip side of all that, that attention also means a lot of pressure to perform. She's arguably, like you said, the greatest basketball player ever, men's or women's. But is it even possible for her to live up to all the hype that's been built up around tonight?
I think that Caitlin Clark is definitely feeling comfortable. She made her preseason debut against the Chicago Sky and had 21 points. And so I think that she's transitioning very well into the WNBA. And it's pretty much a lot of pressure on her, obviously, because she had such a great college season. But I think that Caitlin Clark is doing just well. I think as she gets into the WNBA, her game is going to evolve. She has to work on her shot selection, of course, because she's at this high level. But again, her playmaking is what makes her stand out, and the Indiana Fever are going to be just fine with Caitlin Clark at the helm.
One more question for you before I let you go. Caitlin Clark has already transformed the WNBA without even having played a single game. What does the league need to do to capitalize on all this momentum and keep the energy going?
The league needs to just continue to put players like Caitlin Clark, the Angel Reeses, the Camila Cardozos, Cameron Brinks in the spotlight and to keep the momentum going. Fans want to see these young rising stars, but also continue to expand the coverage and visibility of these athletes to continue to build the momentum that Caitlin Clark is bringing over from the college into the WNBA.
And of course, until then, Girls Talk TV will keep on doing their thing. Is it okay that I'm a Camila Cardoso fan?
No, it's not. Camila Cardoso is awesome. I'm excited to see what she's going to do this season with the Chicago Sky, a two-time national champion. So her projection in the W is certainly high.
Oh, Christina Williams, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. On this date, America's first space station was launched, plus the final episode of Family Ties aired. Today is May 14th. If you're thinking about breakfast, it's National Buttermilk Biscuit Day. In 1796, the first smallpox vaccination was administered. America's first space station, Skylab, was launched. And the man behind the website Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, was born. In 1989, 36 million people tuned in to watch the Keaton family in the final episode of Family Ties. And old Blue Eyes, the one and only Frank Sinatra, died at the age of 82. And the last episode of the comedy Seinfeld aired on NBC in 1998. You know Seinfeld, the show about nothing? Well, it aired for 9 seasons and won 10 Primetime Emmy Awards. Hey, don't you be going anywhere. You better go grab that coffee. There's more Morning in America coming up. Bombshell testimony in President Trump's business records trial. His former lawyer, Michael Cohen, tying him to a hush money payment for adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
Listen, what financing? We'll have to pay you. So no. I got no.
Mr. Trump's political supporters calling out Cohen, who served time for federal campaign finance crimes.
He's a convicted felon. I mean, this guy, he's up there giving an acting scene.
Today, it's the defense's turn. We're live at the courthouse. New video this morning shows an out-of-control car going airborne and slamming into the side of a building. Sparks flying as damaged power lines fall all around the vehicle. Police calling the wreck an avoidable tragedy.
Coming right for us!
Golfers caught right in the path of a tornado. They say they heard no siren and had no warning. At least 6 reported tornadoes in the last 24 hours, and thousands are still without power. And check out this speedy mom-to-be running and winning a half marathon for 2. She joins me live with how it felt to cross the finish line 23 weeks pregnant. What a way to start a Tuesday. It's Morning in America. Good morning. From our News Nation headquarters in America's heartland, it's time for News for All America. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Nick Smith. We're taking a live look right now at Trump Tower in New York City, where President Trump will be leaving for his hush money